3 days ago, YEAT released a new album called Afterlife, consisting of 22 tracks, including features with Young Boy Never Broke Again, Cranky Cranky, and Lou Geeky. These two names are actually new alter egos of YEAT himself, as well as Talking Ben, a virtual dog from the mobile game Talking Ben the Dog. On the new album, YEAT experiments more with music, including even psychedelic rock towards the end, which however may not be as surprising after Lil Yachty's album. In September 2022, YEAT released Life, which he asked not to be taken seriously and simply called an addition to February's 2 Alive. By the beginning of 2023, YEAT has become one of the most talked about artists in the Western industry, causing the whole world to talk about him. At the beginning of 2022, his tracks were gaining more and more space on TikTok. His album started in the top 10 of the Billboard charts, and he featured with Hannah and Young Tag. Interestingly, he is just over 20 years old, and he is already being called the new wave of SoundCloud rap, which has come to displace people from the first wave. Overall today, YEAT is a phenomenon that cannot be discussed in detail. Although YEAT considers the Life project not a serious work, it still shows how the rapper creates his unique style. YEAT's real secret to success lies in his unconventional approach to creating music, specifically in how he weaves his voice into the beats, on top of which he raps. For example, take the song Talk. The pitched melody in the center of the beat is not an instrument but a processed voice of YEAT himself, which he sampled and replayed on the keys. And every time the kick hits, there is a sound of Voo in the background. Everyone praises his choice of beats, but they wouldn't be as convincing without the vocal layers that YEAT adds himself. His approach to recording tracks is also interesting. In reality, the artist records his ad-libs before adding the rest of the vocals. At least he said so himself in several interviews. YEAT takes the idea of ad-libs to the absurd, drawing inspiration from the style of Atlanta artists such as Young Thug, Migos, Jeezy, T.I., Lil Jon, Gucci Mane, and Future. Instead of just decorating his rap, he interacts with every element of the beat. Have you ever heard a rapper playing musical phrases with a flute? Then listen to what he does in the song What It Feel Like. According to legend, YEAT developed this unique approach while growing up in Portland, Oregon. Or was it really there? People don't know where I'm from, he says in one interview with noticeable irritation. Everyone calls him a Portland rapper, from Pitchfork to the New York Times. But in reality, he was born in Irvine, California and grew up in nearby Fullerton. Only when he was 14, he moved to Portland with his family. In an interview with Our Generation Music, he revealed the truth, stating that he is half Romanian and half Mexican. His mother is of Romanian descent and his father is from Mexico. YEAT himself insists that although he is technically partially white, he still criticizes the lyrics of some white rappers. Here's his quote: "They don't know what they're talking about." By the way, his family is quite musical. His father played guitar in a band and there were always musical instruments at his home. YEAT, however, never learned to play any of them, but it inspired him to pursue music. Under the name Lil Yet, in 2016 he started uploading music to SoundCloud, although most of the tracks from that time have been deleted, and a couple of years later he dropped the Lil from his nickname. By the time he graduated from high school, he already had a small but loyal underground circle of listeners, so he moved to New York to seriously pursue a music career. Melodies always came to him effortlessly, and the influence of Atlanta stars like Young Thug and Future was obvious. However, soon he had to find his own sound in a new context. At that time, there were many discussions about the fact that SoundCloud rap died after the decline in popularity of once viral artists like Lil Pump and the tragic deaths of Lil Peep, XXXTentacion, and Juice WRLD. But a new generation of artists like Summers, Autumn, Sofego, and SSG Kobe came in their place, who were changing the scene, and YEAT found common ground with them. During that time, YEAT's music began to mutate. The tempo accelerated and the beats became more explosive, with an emphasis on synths. Perhaps this was related to substances he read about in songs, or maybe he was simply inspired by new trends in the underground scene. In any case, he got his hands on chaotic beats from producers like Synthetic, Filthy, TRGC, Sharkboy, and Benji Cold, and discovered a winning formula of memorable one-liners, subtle references, and wild sound effects. In 2021, his life turned upside down. His self-released album Alive was warmly received in the spring, but starting with the June release of 4L, his music began to break into the mainstream. Suddenly, he broke out of the underground Discord servers and niche rap blogs, and tracks like Sorry About That and Money Twerk reached wider audiences thanks to viral dance challenges and memes. In August, he released Get Busy, which blew up on TikTok and even caught the attention of artists like Lil Yachty and Drake. He had a fresh sound, a unique image, and an unusual name. And then the memes and hype followed in the online world. They just couldn't resist. Everything about him seemed new, and as soon as people realized that the music was great too, he skyrocketed to fame. Labels couldn't resist such a combination of talent.
she riding on. Bend the bitch over in Calabasas.
TikTok still plays an important role in Yate's career. However, in the case we're about to tell you, it was not the artist himself who got involved, but Lumination Entertainment, the creators of the Despicable Me movies and the famous yellow Minions. So last summer, the film's producers tried to surprise the soundtrack and, more interestingly, the trailer director. The title track was performed by perhaps the most unexpected rapper of all, YEAT, and he didn't even try to fit into the genre or cater to the audience, delivering a single completely in his own style. For all 3 minutes of the track, he talked about how much he had achieved through hard work and drew parallels between the franchise's protagonist Gru and himself, calling his fans minions. In keeping with his colleague, the trailer director Cole Bennett also didn't force the minion onto the globe and simply demonstrated what he does best, created a powerful video sequence to young artists' tracks. The video and track per second became viral, and then the TikTok challenge appeared, where young people came to the movies in business suits, often to the rich Minions track. YEAT knows his audience well. Attention span today is at a record low, and if he delays between releases, he risks losing popularity. Fortunately, he continuously makes music and never worries about running out of songs to share with fans. Typically, it takes him from 10 to 20 minutes to create a track, and he currently has a mountain of unreleased music. He said at the end of last year that he had 16,000 unreleased tracks at that time. Many stars have praised YEAT's music, from Lil Yachty to Gunna, from Playboi Carti to Earl Sweatshirt. And one of the most important artists in his life, Young Thug, even jumped on his track Outside from the 2 Alive album. And these two kept in touch even during Tiger's current prison sentence. But he has become closest with Lil Uzi Vert. Having met earlier this year, they have already released 3 joint songs, and that's not all. According to YEAT, they already have probably 200 Inches songs ready. After YEAT gained fame, many began to associate his name with Raging Rage beats, a production style with a focus on synths popularized by artists like Playboi Carti, Trippie Redd, and Sofego. He agrees that he jumped on this trend as one of the first, but that's already in the past. The new album showed this in full. By the way, the conductor of the new sound was producer BNYX, who wrote the most experimental songs from the Life album: Talk, Out the Way, and Can't Stop It. That's all for today. What do you think about YEAT? Write your opinion in the comments, like and subscribe to the channel. See you!